Greetings fans, hyperfans and people just lost looking for videos of cats on YouTube. With the recent announcement of the third masterpiece version of Starscream, I thought it would be pretty good to look back not only at the 2006 Classics version of Starscream, but the most recent Earthrise version. This video in comparison has actually been requested by Tama, who is the artist behind the cool music that I've been adding to my videos recently, and he has been after a Starscream toy for a little while and has asked my recommendation for it. Now obviously I love this classic 2006 version. It's the toy that got me back into Transformers after quite a long break, as indeed did the whole Classics line. And for a 14-year-old toy, not only does it hold up ridiculously well, but it's also come full circle. And this year's Starscream is a direct homage to him. Now, I'm all for oversized knockoffs, but when Hasbro are doing it to their own toys, you really do have to admire the original designers. I mean, yes, obviously both of these are taking their cues from the original 1984 release, but here the similarities are a little bit too close to be coincidence. Let me free him from his plastic prison and we'll take a closer look. So, to start with, these two they're not the same size. The 2006 version of this figure was a deluxe size, and I've been using him for size comparisons for the entire history of my videos, whereas this year we are getting practically the same figure as a Voyager. Don't think they look similar enough from the front? Let's turn them round. And yeah, you can see the fact that the butt flap is identical, the fact they've both dealt with the nose cone in pretty much the same way, just hanging it off the back. The wings being on a single hinge point. It's pretty much an upscale of the Classics toy. Articulation is practically the same. The head is on a ball joint rather than the swivel hindered by the nose cone. The arms are on the same universal joint. He does have a bicep swivel, which the original one did not. And yeah, that's pretty much the same. Whereas the hands folded in on the 2006 version, here they fold up, but I'll get into that in transformation. The null rays, which are now cartoon accurate sculpts as opposed to firing missiles, again can pin onto the upper arm, be held in the hand, or plug into the wings. Although a little bit loose in the hand. The hips are on a universal joint and there is a thigh swivel. You have a nice deep bend at the knee, and you actually have some ankle pivot, a little bit of bend at the toe for transformation. But again, if we're looking for details, the way that just swings up and folds in, pretty much exactly the same as his granddad. Paint apps on this, I have to say, are a lot nicer. He's got the classic stripe along the wing, really nice Decepticon decals, lots of paint. The face is really nice. He's got sort of this very, let's see if I can get this in focus. He's got a very Starscream grin to him, and the way it's done is when you're tilting it down, he's got that very supercilious look. You tilt it up and it's a little bit more aggressive. That's what I call a really nice face sculpt. Oh, one more bit of articulation I didn't notice before is the wings are actually on a hinge, letting you put them back at an angle to make it a little bit more cartoon accurate. There was an upgrade kit for that guy that gives you similar, but having it out of the box is really nice. It actually has the same fault as the original, which is these big gaps on the side, but at this stage I guess that's almost part of the nostalgia. Let's have a look what he's like in jet mode. Transformation of Earthrise Starscream is near exactly the same as the 2006 classics. Two small upgrades being the legs concertina in rather than have sliding joints, and the arms fold in on themselves a little bit more, which actually gives for a slightly stubbier jet mode. One thing of note that I really do want to point out though is, whilst the plastic seems pretty standard all the way through, the blue plastic used on the forearms is an oddity. It actually feels like some really good quality 3D printed plastic, but almost substandard to what you'd normally expect, like an ABS with slightly the wrong mix. I'm sure that means that it's going to be less breakable, possibly. It feels like it's got a little bit more flex to it, but yeah, it does just feel a little bit odd on a Hasbro toy. Now the jet mode itself looks absolutely excellent, far more aerodynamic. It still has that same level of robot kibble underneath. You have a couple of extra mounting points for the weapons, so you can either really arm him up or give him stuff that's a bit more accurate to the cartoons. I think those were... yeah, I think those look a little bit more accurate to the Null Rays end up in the G1 series. Couple of things that I do not like. The 2006 had proper afterburners, and you have the sort of Raptor style directional burners made out of the feet there. Not quite so cool. You have no landing gear on this. This is a connector for the head covering nose cone. There are no flip out nipple wheels as we had with his 2006 version, but apart from that, it's really good. I think that's actually a 5mm port up there. Let me just check. Yeah, so if you want to go for absolutely ridiculous weapons, you have options. So if you have the 2006 version, or any of the later repaints or re-releases of it, do you really need to go out and buy the Earthrise one? No, quite honestly. The additional engineering is nice, and that would be more than expected on a Voyager-sized vehicle. The colour is definitely closer to his 1984 version, but there are more accurate repaints of that one. The Earthrise Voyager Starscream definitely trades on a lot of the love for the 2006 mould. The upgrades are lovely, but he doesn't really bring anything new to the game. I think if you're just getting one version of Starscream for your Japanese robots collection, this is a better option. It's more impressive on the shelf, and if you're a newcomer to the toys, you missed out on this one and you don't want to pay secondary market prices, then yeah, it's really nice being able to go into a toy shop and pick up this Voyager class version sitting on the shelves. But with Hasbro's current distribution, I think if you're looking to get the entire Seeker squad, you're probably going to be better tracking down Classic, Custom and Knockoff Deluxe class. It's nice to see this design get another outing, it's nice to see him shipping with more accurate Null Rays, but it kind of feels like a special edition or upgrade of the figure rather than a whole new thing in and of itself. Anyway, thanks to Tama for asking me to do this review and pick this figure up for him. If you found the review useful, hit subscribe, hit notifications, and until next time, if you're keeping the mint in package, you're not a toy collector, you're a box collector.